Aloha and welcome to the August edition of Yakamashii. I'm Kathy Collins. I am really honored to be your host for this series presented by the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center here on Maui. And I'm really, really excited about this month's guest. He is, I don't know him from growing up time, but I would be willing to bet that he heard the word Yakamashii a lot. He is author, playwright, poet, a producer, educator, food critic, and you best know him as the Pidgin Guerrilla. I'm so happy and excited to welcome via Zoom all the way from Oahu, Lee Tonouchi. Ooh.
Thank you, Kathy. All this time I gotta apologize, because I've been calling you wrong name, bro. I haven't called you Kathy. I've been calling you Kathy. Hey, Kathy.
Yeah. That's how though.
What you mean? I know Yakamashii. I was a good boy. What you talking about?
Oh, I'm sure you were, but I bet you heard that a couple, 3 times, maybe.
Oh, I probably heard my grandpa scolding my cousin, probably.
Probably was those other guys in the house. I was going to say, was it hard? Yeah, keep quiet for those 5 minutes from when we went on until now, right? So Lee, mahalo for joining us. There's so much I want to ask you about and hear from you. But let's start with just a brief small kind biography. How you came to be known as the Pidgin Guerrilla.
Oh, okay. Some people call me the self-proclaimed Pigeon Guerrilla. So that gets me all riled up, because if you gotta make up a nickname for yourself, that's kind of like loser, bro. So Pigeon Guerrilla was a nickname that was bestowed upon me. So I remember I was in college, I was going UH, and I was very pro pigeon. So then the Kaleo, that was the UH school newspaper, they did one article on me, and they interviewed like one of my college professors, Rob Wilson. And in the article, he was quoted as saying, "Oh yeah, Lee, he's like a Pigeon Guerrilla." Yeah. And then so my friend, I think it was Lisa Kanaya, she said, "Nah, Lee, he's not a Pigeon Guerrilla, he's the Pigeon Guerrilla." And that's why all my friends started calling me the Pigeon Guerrilla. Yeah. And it's the kind rebel kind gorilla, not the kind
not the kind
monkey kind gorilla. Because some think because I'm Okinawan and they think, oh, must be the monkey,
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. When I was in grade school, I always thought I was just Japanese. And then, but my father's side is from Okinawa. It wasn't until 8th grade, my science teacher explained to the class that he saw me pick up a pencil with my toes. And he said, "Oh, did everybody see that? You saw Kathy pick up the pencil with her toes. You know how come she can do that? Because she's Okinawan. And Okinawans are the monkeys of Asia." Oh. I was like shocked.
The teacher can get fired today, huh?
Today, yeah.
Like racist.
Cancel. So, okay, so the name was bestowed upon you because of your actions, but what turned you into a pigeon proponent so early in your career when you were going school already?
Oh, okay. So all my life through public school, right, you kind of taught that you should not bust out the pigeon, because I remember I used to write my papers and the teacher would always say, "Oh, Lee, you write like how you talk." And I always thought, oh, that's a good thing, but they said, "No, that's not good. That's very bad," right? But to me, that made the writing more real. Yeah, like if I wrote, "Oh, it's kind of hot today," like to me that sounded fake because I never know nobody who said, oh, it's kind of hot today. I would just put, oh, kind of hot today, right? Because that's what I hear in the real world, right? So, but you try your best not for bust out the pigeon because that's what the teachers tell you, huh? So it wasn't until I went to college, I was going UH, I was taking my sophomore literature class, English 256, poetry and drama. And just so happens the professor, Rob Wilson, he wasn't from over here, he was from Berkeley, but then he was using The Best of Bamboo Ridge. That was one of his textbooks. Yeah, so using Shakespeare, Faulkner, and he had The Best of Bamboo Ridge. And inside The Best of Bamboo Ridge, right, had one poem, Tutu on the Curb by Eric Chalk. And I was blown away, right? Because, you know, oh, Tutu on the Curb, here's one poem that's written in Pigeon. And we studying them in college. Oh, you gotta be smart, bro, for studying Pigeon. So, you know, my mind was blown, right? So after that, I was like, whoa, you know, maybe I'll like try write some Pigeon too, right? So, you know, I started doing my creative writing in Pigeon. Eventually, I know, oh, if I can do my creative stuff, how come I cannot do my critical stuff too? So I started to do my short response papers in Pigeon. Eventually, I did my 10, 20, 30 page research papers in Pigeon. Eventually, thesis, everything, oh, I did them in Pigeon, right? That's how I became the Pidgin Guerrilla.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you ever write in the kind regular English?
Oh, that I try for cut back now. But maybe if I have one story where the character is not from here, I think then I would probably use English.
No, but only for the dialogue.
Yeah, because that's for that character. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How many books have you published now at this point? And plays and all of your works, your written,
Oh, I'm not gonna
your
have to count.
literary works.
Oh, I don't know. You never tell me for count, bro. Okay. 2001, I had my my first publication, right? I never bring all my books. I couldn't make commercial. Okay, so 2001, my short story collection from Bamboo Ridge Press. It was called The Word. Yeah, that came out 2001. That was my collection of Pigeon short stories. I think the next year from Tin Fish Press was my collection of Pigeon essays. Yes, that one was called Living Pigeon. Yeah, and then I have my poetry collection. Yeah, I have my Pigeon poetry collection that you were showing me on the screen earlier. So if you want to show that one, you can show that one.
This one.
Yeah, that one is called Significant Moments in the Life of Oriental Father and Son. Yes, that one came out from Best Press. And that one won a national award, bro. Won the Association for Asian American Studies Book Award. Yeah, so I was like, wow. That one, I was very happy to win that one. That one was actually a little bit funny because so somebody stole my award, bro. Because
What?
because the year that one came out, I won the award. The ceremony was in Seattle because the conference was in Seattle. And my daughter was being born. So I was like, oh, I don't like go all the way to Seattle just to get the award. I'd rather stay here, right? Go see my daughter be born, right? So then I asked, oh, you can just mail me the award or what? So they said, okay, yeah, we'll mail it to you. So I wait a long time. Finally, I follow up. I go, wow, I still never get them, you know, yet. I've been waiting kind of long. Yeah. So they said, oh, someone at the conference said they knew you, so they was gonna give it to you. So I was like, who's that? So I call up all the people I know who went to the conference. It's like, nobody said they was going to give them to me. So I was like, oh, I don't know. And all my friends said they don't know, bro. So yeah, somebody said they knew me, but they never know me and they took my award. So that's okay because they made me one new one and then they mailed it. But someplace out there get one fake person with one Lee Tonouchi award.
Get the original one. Oh man.
Yeah.
You should have never just say, oh, this sucker, you know, like come get his award. That's instead for him.
And then I had my Pigeon children's picture book. Came out a couple of years ago, right? That one is called Okinawan Princess, The Legend of Hachichi Tattoos.
We get matching ones. Oy,
Oh,
you disappear in your virtual background.
I know, hard this virtual background. See,
Yours
but
is
mine get
better
the
than
sticker,
mine.
bro. I get the sticker. That's so this one won Skipping Stones Honor Award. Yeah, so that one I'm pretty happy too because I think it's the first Okinawan American book to ever win one Skipping Stones honor. Even my Significant Moments in the Life of Oriental Father and Son, that one too is the first Okinawan.
But that was awesome.
Yeah. So then even down to that was like the first Okinawan American one to win like that award. Yeah. So yes. So I have to represent for like the Uchinan shoes.
All right. Okay, so who was that little Okinawan princess that just like appeared behind
Oh,
you and then
that's my
disappeared?
daughter. Don't change your clothes over here. Go change over there. Oh my goodness.
So growing up, I'm assuming you spoke Pidgin most of the time, not in the classroom maybe, but what was your parents, your family's attitude toward Pidgin? Because I know like in my generation, a little bit older than you, a lot of my friends' parents frowned on it at home too.
Oh yeah. So for me, I had one interesting upbringing, yeah, because my mom died when I was young. So I was raised a lot by my grandparents from like both sides. So I was raised by my Kaimaki grandparents, and then later on when I moved to Aya, my Maui grandma came down for take care of me. Yeah. So then I remember my Maui grandma in particular. She always wanted me to correct her when she talked Pigeon, right? She was ashamed of the fact that she talked Pigeon, right? So she wanted me for teach her how say the right way, yeah. Yeah. Um, but growing up, I never know I talk Pigeon, right? Because I remember I would just talk like how everybody talked. It wasn't until maybe fourth grade I said the word Bombay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my friend, yeah, so my friend who's super smart, she never know the word Bombay. So I go, how come she don't know the word Bombay? Yeah, funny kind. So I go to, okay, so I bet you, bro, Bombay, right? That gotta be one word. So I right, because I thought, okay, Bombay, yeah. So Bombay can mean later on, right? Yeah. Bombay can also mean consequently, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
for example, Grandma, when you gonna take me Disneyland? And she tell Bombay, right? So Bombay can possibly mean never too, yeah. Yeah. So I figured gotta be one word, right? So then we look them up inside a dictionary, and then never have. I was like, right, so that's the day I remember I went home. So I had to ask my father, hey, how come Bombay wasn't in the dictionary? Maybe I said spelling it wrong, right? Maybe it wasn't how, right? Maybe it's Bumbai, Bumby. I don't know. Anyhow, that's when he explained to me that Bombay was on Pigeon word, right? And all the time I never know I was using Pigeon, right? Yeah.
Wow. Bombay. For me, it was used to. I mean, I knew there was Pidgin and there was standard English, but it wasn't until my first marriage that because I married one holy guy from the mainland, and we were talking, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm used to that," and he said, "Wait, what?" I said, "Used to that," and he said, "You mean you're used to that?" I said, "No, used to." That's when I found out that was a Pidgin word too. So you've written poetry and essays, short stories, and plays.
Yes, plays. And actually,
Right.
it's kind of interesting. It's like full circle now because I have a play coming out from Kumakuhua this coming season. It's called Gone Fishing. And that was my first play I did in 2004. And Kumakuhua, they never go Maui long time. But for my play, Gone Fishing in 2004, they brought them to Maui after. I was like, wow. Yeah, so I don't know if they're gonna bring them to Maui again, but I thought, oh, that was kind of neat, bro. It went to Maui, my first play, right? Went to two island. Wow.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna start a movement. We're gonna insist that they bring it to Maui. Yeah. Where we can write, where we can make petition.
Oh, I guess you gotta call up Kumakuhua Theater, and you tell them who you are.
Okay, bro. I am a fan of the Pidgin Guerrilla. Well, while we talking about your works, yeah, I gotta say, um, when Significant Moments, Oriental Father and Son came out, I ordered it right away from Best Press, and this was years ago. I don't remember exactly, but I was so struck, and I remember posting on Facebook because by that time we had met. I think we first met at one of the Hawaii Book and Music festivals or something. So I kind of knew you, and so I felt comfortable enough to post on your page, but I remember saying something about how like, oh, you bugger, you make me cry and laugh all same time. Like unreal. This is such an amazing collection. I really, really love it.
Thank you.
And since you wrote it, and it's obviously very autobiographical, well, I'm assuming that almost every piece in there came from your life, yeah.
Yeah.
Different significant moments in your
Some
life.
of the details have been changed, but then so some of the people have been like composited, but it's all based on like true things. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, would you mind sharing one or two pieces from that? Because I know since you and write them, you get them all in your head, right? All
Yeah.
memorized.
So okay, so this one is written in the voice of my grandfather. Yeah. So my Kamaki grandpa, he was born on Maui. He came Oahu, moved back Okinawa a little while for several years, came back to Oahu. So this is written in his Pigeon, yeah? Okay, so this poem is called Hard Work. Young time, you grandpa, carpenter foreman, you know. State Capitol building, you grandpa, build. Meeting place, hard for make was, not square. Can point Honolulu no more so bare for that. That's why Lee Martin from University hire engineer. He point, I mark concrete all pour. Following week come, I finish. He glad. Lucky thing I get you tighter. He said that, you know. See, you grandpa no go school nothing. Only 6th grade Japanese school. The boss say, little more English I know was. General foreman can be. That's why you gotta work hard, but my boss no like. You finish school, find good work. Yeah.
So a couple things came to mind as you were reciting your poem. First of all, is this Tonouchi, Grandpa? What's the family name? This is the one born on Maui.
Oh, this is my Tyra grandpa.
Tyra.
But actually, my whole family, everybody from Maui, yeah. So like the Tonouchi side, my great grandparents, they're all from Maui. Even my dad grew up on Maui. My Tyra side, they're all from Maui. Both grandma and grandpa born on Maui. Only my mom was not born on Maui. Yeah, so small kid time, I used to go Maui like every summer.
Wow. Yeah. How come you don't come now?
Oh, small kid time free, yeah? Because I don't have to pay.
Somebody else pay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that came to mind as you were explaining this is in your grandfather's Pigeon. So I know that you, as a scholar of Pigeon and a perpetuator, what are your thoughts on the evolution of Pigeon generationally? We know there's geographical differences, like, but generational.
Generational. Yeah. I remember when I came out with my my book, 2005, right? It's called The Kind Dictionary.
Oh, yeah, I get that too.
So that was a community dictionary that I decided to put together. I remember a lot of my colleagues I talked to, they told me, oh, Lee, I think Pigeon is dying, right? Because they were hearing like all this hip hop vocabulary now, like in the Pigeon. But, I was telling them, to me, I think it's just changing, right? A Pigeon has always had like the ability for incorporate, all these other languages into it and call it Pigeon. Yeah? Why can't we just do the same for, hip hop speak, right? Why can't that be part of Pigeon too? Right? So that was my thoughts now in 2005. But now, like 2022, I don't know now, right? Now I hear less and less. I have colleagues now who do theater, and they always tell me how hard it is to find young actors who talk Pigeon, right? Because if you write plays in Pigeon, you're gonna need actors who talk Pigeon. but here I write the plays, but they say, oh, it's not hard to cast now because they all want to do big Broadway musicals, right? So, they train not for, bust out the pigeon, but, yet, get playwrights like me who write, exclusively in pigeon. So we need actors. Yeah. So I hope pigeon never goes away.
Oh boy, me too. I agree with you though. I think Pidgin it's a living language. So it's going to constantly evolve. And yeah, but it is worrisome that there's a generation that doesn't speak it at all.
And then
I do.
I was gonna say, like my grandma, her pigeon, she knew so many Hawaiian words. It's like, wow, how come you know so many Hawaiian words? That's because she worked plantation, she said. So, that's all common words to her. How come I don't know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. When I do storytelling with my pigeon alter ego with Tira, I speak the pigeon of my youth, which is basically upcountry and the pigeon of my parents. So sometimes I find myself having to explain, even to locals who do speak pigeon, I have to explain certain terms because they're not used anymore.
For example, like what, which ones?
Oh, like, Garen's ball barons. People don't know what is ball barons.
Rhymes with Garens.
Yeah. They still say Garens, and so they kind of get the drift. But what is that ball barons?
That's like just extra flair.
But then that kind of helped me because that's when I realized, ball bearings from the BB gun, ball bearings. Okay. But I remember as a kid hearing words like calaboose and Piora light, like you say, your grandma knew a lot of Hawaiian words. My grandma too.
That's all the words you're telling now. That's all the ones I want to go ask my grandma. Because she's from Maui.
I like old like your grandma.
She said, "You better behave, Bamba. You're gonna go calaboose." I go, "What is that calaboose? What is that?"
Yeah. So I tend to use that generation pigeon when I'm doing my tira thing. Just because those are just the words I remember from before. But nowadays, yeah, the pigeon isn't as heavy. I have a Calabash cousin who is attending Berkeley and was doing her master's thesis on the differences in pigeon geographically and generationally. So she was asking me all these really academic questions, like, I don't even want to go through it, but that really got me thinking about how pigeon has and continues to evolve. Yeah. Another thing, you can tell I follow you on Facebook. I'm not stalking now, but you had me laughing out loud when you were talking about flying saucers. Because Maui County Fair gotta get the flying saucer, right? And then you were talking about how different islands, and then but made me boss laugh was when you said, "Oh, but if it was in Hilo, would be saucers flying." So you're the expert. How come Big Island people, or more specifically Hilo people, their pigeon is backwards? How come they get ice shaved and tomato beef?
It's a perspective, huh? Like to them, they're not backwards. We all backwards to them.
Yeah, well, they're wrong.
Oh, you're gonna start one beef, not gonna beef.
I don't know if get anybody watching from Hilo. I know get Maui and Oahu people and the kind West Coast and Japan. We have one signed up from Japan. Thank you for joining us.
So I was curious, Kathy. So what is your favorite Maui pigeon word?
My favorite Maui pigeon word. That's kind of hard because I like them all. I am kind of stuck on Garen's ball barons. That is one of my favorites because it's fun to say too. Yeah.
Because for me, I always have to warn my friends, like, hey, you're going Maui. You gotta be careful now. Maui people, they're prone to exaggeration, because they always tell, some hot today. Some Yeah, some expensive. Yeah, everything is some, but everything cannot be some expensive, some hot. It's like,
My mom is always telling me, that's how people know you're from. Actually, she didn't say Maui, she says from Makawao, because Lahaina people talk different. So I was trying to remember. I know we say some a lot, but also only. So on
only
Oahu, that's only good, only hot today. No?
Well, yeah, so that's Oahu then.
Is it? I don't know.
Well, I don't know, because I only stay Oahu mostly.
But
Oh, remember you was talking about how you said that Hilo people backwards, huh? I heard another one, huh? So my friend was saying, people in Hilo, if the car in front of them is driving too slow, yeah, they don't pass and overtake the car, yeah. They take over the car. Hey, go take over the car. I go, oh, gangsta, bro. What is that? You're gonna take over the car?
that's a good one. Oh, I never heard that before. Okay, now I know. All right. That is interesting though. I mean, I've just always wondered, how come? How come? And only over there, right? I mean, none of the other islands, only over there.
I don't know why.
So I was discussing this with a non-native Pidgin speaker. So it must have been one of my husbands.
One of your, I never know you had plenty. How much husbands you had?
I had 3.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and all Haole and all non-Pidgin speakers. Because like I used to tell them, okay, the first thing you gotta learn about Pidgin, if you're a mainlander and you're gonna live here, you wanna learn Pidgin, the first lesson is no try talk 'em, because you're just gonna annoy the rest of us. Yeah, you should learn to understand, but not try talk. And so we were talking about, oh yeah, beef, tomato, tomato, beef. And I thought, well, maybe it has to do with the actual recipe. Maybe because, we call it beef tomato because the main ingredient is beef. And then you get tomato, and some guys use onion and bell peppers. But maybe over there, the focus is on the tomato.
You're saying they chintzy on the beef then?
Yeah. Or like shave ice. In fact, my husband said ice shave makes more sense because it's ice that's shaved. But no. These would be good subjects for a debate, a good Pidgin debate. Do you still teach? You were teaching at Kapiolani or?
I used to teach college. Yeah, so I used to teach creative writing at KCC. I started and developed the first ever Pidgin literature course for HPU, right? This was a 3,000 level course that was devoted solely to Pidgin. Yeah, so and then I got my colleague Kent Sakota. He co-wrote the book Pidgin Grammar. I twisted his arm. I made him go teach the first ever Pidgin language course. Right? That was also at HPU. So for doing those breakthrough courses, we got front page recognition on top of the Wall Street Journal. Yeah.
Wow.
And then my friend who's on Pigeon Writer, I made one copy of the article, yes, so I gave one to her. I thought she'll be happy, yeah, because she's on Pigeon Writer. Yeah, but she never believed. She thought it was all for fake. It wasn't until years later she thought. Years later, she told me like she thought it was on like fake news article. I was like, wow. So she thought I spent hours, making one news article look real. I was like, oh my god. And she's on Pigeon Writer, right? She can't believe.
Oh, I'm a fate, yeah. Oh man. But you're not. You don't still teach college classes.
Oh, retired now. Oh,
retired. You're too young to retire.
so now I just help take care of the children and I write now. Yeah.
Oh, and you're a food critic.
Yes. So I write food reviews for Frolic Hawaii. I don't know if you ever read any of my pieces. If you never read any of my food pieces, I guess a good one is for check out my zip pack personality test. Maui get zippies, right?
Yeah, we get one.
So if you know what is your favorite thing in the zip pack, if you take my zip pack personality test, then that's going to tell you what kind of person you are. Yeah, Kathy, I already know what you are. So you go look them up later on.
I will, so I can go online, Frolic Hawaii.
Yeah, you go look them up
Find
later. I think you want fried chicken.
No, wrong.
Yeah. Actually, you go try read. I think your personality is gonna be. You might have to change your favorite.
Okay, just to make them fit. Yeah. I haven't read any of the actual food reviews, but like I say, I see your stuff on Facebook all the time, and man, I'm so jealous because the kind of stuffs you come up with. Oh, although that last one I saw, the butter mochi in different flavors, I gotta agree with you. It sounds kind of weird.
Hey,
But-
does Maui have 7-Eleven? Like no more 7-Eleven. I get 7-Eleven over there.
We get 7-Eleven.
I get 7-Eleven. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know because when I went to Maui, I only spent time going to the minute stops. That's why, because I gotta
yeah,
go get minute stop fried chicken.
We get more minute stops than 7-Eleven.
Oh yeah.
I guess on Big Island it's 11-7, yeah.
Oh, you're really hitting the Big Island people hard today. Huh?
I know, because they're not here.
Oh.
No, yeah, 7-Eleven minute stop with the roasted chicken.
Oh yeah, the roasted chicken. Because I want to go try the fried chicken and like those giant potato wedges I like.
Oh, yeah, still got those. They call them roasted because it's broiled and roasted or something like that. I remember that from the beginning. I don't think they do that now. And Minute Stop now has meatless stuffs. Like beyond burger, hamburger, steak, which I still haven't had the courage to try. Because to me, hamburger gotta be hamburger. If I want vegetables, I eat salad. So no more vegetables in zip pack, right?
Well, if you look underneath all the stuff, get like little bit cabbage. Yeah. And so what is your food recommendations for Maui? Like what places should I check out if I ever gotta write something?
Oh my gosh. Well, are you asking about stuff that's unique to Maui?
I guess unique would help. Something maybe newer that not too many people know. Is there anything I should check out?
People are often coming up with interest, like, cause we got like the manjukis, which is.
I went Maui several years ago. So when I went on that food mission, I went specifically, I wanted to try the manjukis, although we can find that now over here. Like they bring them down over here now. And that was hard to find the manjuki lady place because I was like in the industrial. I was like, where? Get one manjuki place over here. And then I went to try what is the name of the place? The one that sold the deep fried spam musubi. I think that place closed already.
Yeah, they closed. But
was it called the kitchen or something? What's it called?
Yeah, the kitchen.
Yeah. So I went
down. Although I think they still get in Kihei.
Oh yeah.
The main one closed down by the airport.
Okay. Yes, I went specifically for go try that one too. Oh, it's good that.
Maui specialty chocolates.
I went there too, yeah. And then I went to
that.
Of course you cannot miss guri, and then I had to get the Sam Sato's, but yeah. So if I ever go on a food mission again, like where should I go?
Well, you should revisit all those places. You gotta bring your own azuki bean though, because Tasaka guri, long time now, they haven't been too expensive, I think.
But it's been that long since I went. I remember the time that I went several years ago, I told the old man, right? Oh, you still only get 2 flavors, but when you go make more flavors? And he said, no, Yeah, and then now I hear, oh, they get all these limited flavors now coming out every once in a while. They get special kind now, I hear.
Yeah, because that's the new generation. Yeah, but you gotta go quick because it sells out like within a couple 3 hours. Yeah.
Oh, but you somebody, yeah, you can save some for you.
Only if I tell them this is for the Pidgin Guerrilla. I need one really good hard frozen quartz so I can send them over. Gonna be soup by the time you get them though. Maui got a lot of food trucks now, which is something that when I first went to Oahu after high school, I was amazed because we didn't have food trucks on Maui back then. Now we get them all over. In fact, even Hana has a food truck court. And so most of them are serving up, plate lunches but there's some different ones. We get one good acai bowl food truck. That's all they do is acai bowls with poi inside.
So for me, like the greatest food mystery was fried soup. Because I keep hearing about fried soup when I was growing up from all like my Maui family. What is that fried soup? Fried soup. And so like, what? Fried soup is not even soup. Why is it called fried soup then? Like, I never catch on. So like if you think Big Island backwards, that don't even make sense on Maui. What is that fried soup? No even soup. Yeah. So this wasn't until recently when I found Sheldon Simeon's cookbook, right? That, oh, you're on recipe. I go try make them. Yes, I made them for my auntie. And she says, yeah, not bad. Right. She said it was real different from the real one because the real one, right? She said never have any meat stuff inside, right? She said was just the noodle and the vegetable, and I don't know, was only whatever quarter or something back then. And they used to wrap them in the butcher paper. She said,
butcher paper, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That is another mystery. I've always wondered why, but my mother would tell you because my mom is proud Makawao girl. She would tell you that's because this Lahaina. Who knows why those Lahaina people named it fry soup? I have no idea. It is Ono though. It is really Ono.
I thought the one that I made was pretty good, but my auntie didn't like the fact that I followed Chef Sheldon Simeon's recipe and I put some spam and char siu inside, right? He said, right? But she said, no, the real one wasn't like that, right? Yes. Yeah, but not taste, can I tell her if no more all this stuff? It's gonna taste like noodle and vegetable. Ugh.
But I think the original one did have a little bit pork hash.
Oh yeah,
a little bit. A little flavor, bit, but no spam. Yeah. Well, talk about Chef Sheldon. He and his wife just bought and took over Tiffany's. You went Tiffany's when you came Maui?
What's that? The jewelry store?
No. Oh yeah, we do have one of those too in Wailea. No, Tiffany's is this. It's this big restaurant bar that's been operated. Oh, I don't know how long they've been in business, but the son from Nora Market, Orite, he and his wife opened it up. And it's one of those places where, everybody go after work to, karaoke, all of that. Anyway, that couple decided they wanted to retire, and Sheldon and his wife just in the last few weeks took it over and promised to keep some of the standards, the favorites, which includes Nora Market chow fan, which is very similar to the fry soup. It's the fat chow fan, steak bites, and honey walnut shrimp, stuff like that.
So how many restaurants he get now? He get plenty of restaurants now.
Sheldon.
Yeah.
Well, he has Tin Roof, which is the little kind of takeout place that only all the tourists go to. Tiffany's gonna be where the locals hang out. And I don't think he still has, or does he? Was it Migrant and
Lineage was before too.
Lineage was the first one, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's a busy guy then, huh? Oh, and you know him. Oh.
No, I don't know him. I also know what I read in the paper.
Oh, I thought he told you personally. He called you up. He said, hey, guess what I'm doing now? No, he never called you up.
Just so I could be prepared for today to tell Lee Tonouchi. No, it was front page news because, Tiffany's is is a
Wow.
long-standing establishment. You've gone and eaten the hotcakes at Tasty Crust, of course.
I think long time ago. Yeah.
Still there, still good.
Ah.
The problem is, though, I think, I understand you guys have the same problem on Oahu. A lot of our favorite restaurants, especially the mom and pop kind, the smaller places, they they're open limited hours now or have limited menu because post-pandemic they cannot find employees.
Mhm.
You folks have the same problem.
Yeah. Places used to be open 24 hours. Now they only open like a few hours a day. Places used to open 7 days a week. Now they might only be open 5 or 6 days a week. Places used to have like several waitresses. Now I see only like one or two waitresses. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I don't know where
sad.
other people went. I think aliens took other people.
I guess, I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. Because, oh my gosh, even our Zippies close at 10 o'clock.
Wow.
Most of the other places close at 8. It's like when I was small on Maui. Everybody closed on Sunday. Friday night is the only night you can go out. I don't know.
Oh
It's,
goodness, like a blast from the past for you. It feels like small kid time again, huh?
yeah, I don't
No.
know. Yeah. I'd rather have the 24-hour restaurant back again. Well, I guess it's just a stage we're going through as we start to come back. It's the new normal for now. Yeah. Yeah. So what other projects are you working on, or what's occupying your time? What's your passion right now?
Oh, okay. So I get one collection of Hawaii Okinawan writers. I get one anthology coming up hopefully later this year from Best Press. So I'm gonna have poetry, prose, artwork from Hawaii Okinawan writers and artists. Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully that's gonna come out.
What's your favorite area of literature? What do you enjoy most? Poetry, playwriting?
Oh, that's hard, huh?
You like them all?
I think it's helpful to do several genres, yeah. Most people I know like they like to specialize that, but I don't know how you can do that because get boring after a while. Huh? I don't know. But I guess maybe that's how you become one true master, maybe when you focus on just one genre, maybe that's how you become the master.
And all of the writing that you've done that I read, and I read most of them. I have most of your books from the Word and right through these. Um, I love it all. You do have a lot of fun.
Thank
You
you.
got another poem or two you can
Oh yeah.
share with us?
Okay. So now that I'm one father, so I get kids now. It's a little bit harder for find the time to write, but still yet, inspiration can strike at any time. Yeah. So this one came about because I went on one field trip with my daughter. So this one is called How You Can Tell An Okinawan House. I jokingly call them the Okinawan Flag because seems like every older Okinawan living in Hawaii get that same poki plant in their front yard. The one with the pineapple texture, cylindrical trunk, and the leaves that fan out like an angry porcupine. Small kid time when me and my cousins used to play tag at my Kamiki grandma's house, she used to always warn us, no go by the poki plant, abunai, the plant poison. So I always wondered, how come they went plant that for then? Every other plant was safe, like the orchids or anthuriums you raise, so no need buy flower for go grave, or was something we could all eat, like mangoes, avocados, tangerines, or Okinawan sweet potatoes, was just that plant that was weird. Flash forward to when I go Hawaii's plantation village in Waipahu for my daughter's field trip. They stay showing us all the different houses based on the ethnicities, like the Portuguese house and the Chinese house. That's when I laugh when I see the next one, because I already know it's the Okinawan house without have to even go inside. The teachers asked if I can tell from the architecture. I said, no, get the Okinawan flag, that's why. Curious, I see the poki plant get one plaque. I always wondered what the thing was called because my grandma called them the poki plant, but I figured that no can be the official name. I learned it's called the sago palm or sotetsu, one plant that grows wild on top of the hillsides and stay native to Okinawa. And then it says the seeds and stalks was eaten during times of famine. I thought it was poison, but I think to myself. So later on, I do more research and I find out it is super poison, in fact, especially if eaten raw. But with proper preparation, it's possible for cut them up, wash them, and dry them for leach out all the toxins. But if not done right, the thing can cause internal bleeding, liver damage, and even death. Oh, that means so sad was that in Okinawa after the war, everything was all destroyed. So the Okinawan people were so hungry, they had no choice but for eat the plant they knew for being extremely deadly. So I guess after Okinawans moved to Hawaii, after they got out of the plantations, after they got middle-class jobs, after they bought their own houses, it made sense to me now why they would plant that. On one hand, it says, we must never forget the hardship our people had to endure. On the other hand, it also signifies, hey, we made it. This house that we work hard for buy is an Okinawan house. And this is our flag.
That is wonderful. So, how many children you have?
I get 2 children.
They both
I figure 2, you gotta stop at 2 because only get 2 hands. So if 2 decide for run, you can only grab 2, right?
get Tronette.
Tronette. That's what the people I think had to do back in the day when they used to have 10. It's like, how you can have 10?
And how, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man.
I guess before was different too, because my family grew up Maui, and like my dad never had shoes until he graduated from high school. That's the kind of time had like dirt road and all that. So, you don't have to worry about the car gonna run your kid over because only get one car, right? All that kind of stuff, right?
Well, I can see, I just got the note, we got about 10 minutes left, and I thought people would be posting questions. And I'm looking right now and there's no open questions. So I'll let our Zoom participants know right now, if you do have something that the burning question you want to ask Lee, please go ahead and post it. And no, it doesn't have to be written in Pigeon. I will translate for Lee. You can write
I
it
can't
in
understand English too. Just because I talk Pigeon, no mean I can't understand English. I hope we get time at the end. I'd like to share one more. This one is going to be dedicated to my grandma. So my grandma was my biggest supporter. So I want to make sure we save one at the end for my grandma.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. We will definitely do that. So nobody's posting questions now. You got any questions, Lee?
Okay, so I do a lot of talks. Yeah, like schools always ask me to go talk to them. I talk to elementary, high school, college classrooms. I remember the hardest question I ever got was when I went to an elementary school and the kid would ask, hey, mister, what's your favorite Pigeon word?
That's why.
It's like, that one threw me off. I never, usually they ask similar questions, right? I don't really think, right? Oh, that one I had to think. So I said, well, it depends what day you ask. Yeah. And so he goes, what about today? He don't give up, this boy. He should be an investigative reporter. Anyhow, so I thought I would ask you then the hardest question I ever got. See, but you already know the answer. What is your favorite Pigeon word?
So earlier when you asked about my favorite Maui Pigeon word, and I was like, oh, Garen's Barons, but I think gotta be the kind.
The kind. So useful.
The kind. Yeah, because it's, I guess that's 2 words. Sorry. And now I see we got a couple questions. Okay. Alton Chung. You know him, the bugger. He's asking the same question I was gonna ask. So you stay teaching your kids Pigeon?
Hard for teach them because they don't like learn, because for them they learn that everything they learn in school is right, and everything that daddy like try to teach them must be wrong. Because he don't know how to do this new math. Right? We learning this math, and he said that's new. He don't know how. But yet, I think by osmosis they learn a little bit, because people ask me if my children talk Pigeon. I remember my daughter at a very early young age, her first Pigeon word. I know her first Pigeon word already. So then I remember she drew one super nice picture, right, for mommy. Yeah, she goes, "Oh, a really nice picture." I said, "Oh, okay. So what you drew for daddy?" She goes, "Nothing." Yeah. Yeah, so
Not.
so I was so hurt, but also so proud. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Uh,
Sharon Tanaka says, Sharon, I'm from Honolulu. I think she answering your question, the kind. That's all it says is the kind. So I think so. That
Hey,
must
Kathy,
be.
Kathy, I
Yeah.
was always curious, like, who ain't gonna name you Tita? You came up with Tita, or people was always calling you Tita when you was growing up? That's why you chose Tita for like your moniker.
No, actually, I was scared of tiras growing up. I was
Ooh.
I was the one that the tiras used to go follow around, right? At the at the football game. Hey, Japanese girl, turn around, turn around. It's like, oh, you walk more fast. Yeah. But when I started doing storytelling, and actually my third husband and I were in radio together, and we started doing these little comedy things, and it actually came out of a character called Polly, who was a cocktail waitress at the Hale Haole Hotel in the Mahalo Lounge, Polly Tunnel, and that was my character. But then I said, well, I don't want to use that name. And my husband said, well, why don't you just be a Tira? And I said, well, the character is a Tira, but can't just use that as the name. And he said, why not? And I couldn't come up with an answer, why not? And I couldn't come up with a better name. So we just started calling her Tira. I said,
All
someday I
right.
gotta change them to Tutu, but for now it's just Tira. Okay, I see there's another addition here, and okay, one more question. Is it harder to teach, or is it easier to teach in Pigeon to the students? My student had a hard time, and then it just cuts off there. Is it easier to teach in Pigeon to students?
I guess it would depend on the student. I remember one dad, he came up to me with his son one time. This was after my collection of Pigeon short stories came out, right? So this boy, he was maybe 7, 8 years old, and he refused to read, right? He don't like to read. He hated reading. So then his dad bought him The Word, and then he took to reading. Like, that's like The Word was the first book he ever read. He actually read it. So the dad was all like, wow, because up to then he didn't want to read, didn't like reading, hated reading. I was like, wow. So my book, so touching. And my book was his first book. Wow.
Oh, that is touching. I see that Alton asked, and this is the last question we're going to take because I want to make sure we get your poem for your grandma in.
I know.
So
I was thinking
Alton,
you go forget my grandma. Maybe you tutu now, maybe.
I'm not going to forget your grandma. Alton asked, when you talk the kind old style Pigeon, you got to go translate to new kind Pigeon. When you perform, that is.
So I think the trick to writing is if you know you're going to use words that may be a little bit confusing to maybe non-locals or maybe to like a younger generation, you got to give the context so they can use maybe context clues for figure out. Otherwise, it's harder when you got to go try to tell them 2 ways every time. Yeah.
Okay, and Rodney wants to know, is a weekend Pigeon theater ensemble possible on Oahu? Charge accordingly. I would go, especially as the characters are developed over time. Could be a very, very big cast of characters over time. So what you think?
Can.
Can. If can, can. If no can, no can. Okay. I'm sure plenty more people got questions, but we only have like 4 minutes left, and I
Okay.
want to hear your poem.
Okay, so my grandma, right? She's my Kanaki grandma, my biggest supporter. Every news article came out, she clipped it, put it in one scrapbook. My first book came out. We had one big reading at UH Campus Center. She wanted to make andagi. I thought, no need make andagi, grandma. They're gonna get catering from Marriott. They're gonna make all the food, or no need make andagi. But yet she insisted. So she made, right? There were hundreds of andagi to give all the people who come to my reading, right? And then my first play came out, Kumakuhua Theater. The thing premiered on Thursday, so I knew she cannot come on Thursday because I know more time go. She was living Mililani at that time. Now she was living in like the retirement community. I knew I no more time for go drive Mililani, pick her up, and then come to my play on Thursday, right? So I figured I go bring her later on, yeah. But then she took it upon herself. She hired one bus, and she got everybody from her retirement community, and she brought them on Thursday night to see my play on the bus. All these old people, right? It's like the latest they ever stayed up, I think, on Thursday night. Like, oh, they had so much fun. It's like, oh, my grandma, so awesome. Okay, so this one is for my grandma. So she was very proud of her andagi. Yeah. So this one is dedicated to her. Unfortunately, I wrote this one after she passed away. So I don't know how she would like this poem, but this one is for her. It's called She Becomes the Andagi Nazi. People always say my grandma makes the best andagi. Usually my grandma one nice lady, but I don't know who she is when I bring home andagi from someplace else. Because she always got to get something for say. And it's not thank you. This one no enough cook. Oil gotta be hot, How come so small? Olosen grip. Funny kind of color. This no egg yolk. Food coloring must be. Andagi gotta be round. What shape this? Too much one time they fry. As why come koge? How much they sell this kind? Oh, no, buy next time. No more the taste? Where this from? Health food store? People always say my grandma makes the best andagi. And my grandma thinks so too. Yeah, so those is all pretty much, I use a lot of direct quotations.
Yeah. All true story, yeah. Your grandma must have been just as proud of you as she was of her andagi, and with good reason. Oh my gosh, Lee, this has been so much fun and one of the fastest hours I have ever spent on Zoom or anywhere else. You have any final parting thoughts or sentiments you want to share with all your fans?
I just wanted to thank you, for inviting me. And now I understand the secret of your cranes. That's from your 3 marriages in the back, yeah? I just tease. I know it's not. I just making fun of you now. I never know you was married so many times. Oh!
That's a good one. Lee Tonouchi, we're gonna have to have you back again. We're gonna have to have you come to Maui. You gotta come visit the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center.
Sounds like one plan.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we'll go look for the best andagi on the island for you to sample. Okay. Thank you to Lee Tonouchi. Thank you to Deidre Teagarden and the board and volunteers here at the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center on Maui. And most of all, thank you to all of you, our Zoom participants. Thanks for tuning in from wherever you are. Next time, Yakamashii will be October 1st, and I'm still working on the guests. So keep reading your weekly Wednesday update from the Nisei Center. And you can, this particular, and Lee, you can let all your friends know who were too late to sign up. This show, this Yakamashii episode, will be available for viewing free of charge on the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center YouTube channel very soon. We just gotta, clean it up a little bit, edit out all the mistakes we make. But go to
Alright.
YouTube and search NVMC Maui or Nisei Veterans Maui, and you'll find the channel and you can see that, as well as all of the other amazing and interesting and educational presentations that that the folks here at the center have brought to you over the years. So thanks again, Lee. Mahalo
Kati.
for joining us.
Yeah,
Catch you later.